Clicking on the screen will lead you to a menu of these 4 functions. Firstly, it is a manual operation. The manual operation is done to facilitate the debugging of a certain part or component. A user interface has been created. Then, we click on the Move Label function. There is a prerequisite to be mentioned here. If you want to use the manual page, it cannot be used in the automatic mode. For example, if you start the manual page, it will have no effect. You must stop it first before starting the manual page. This is something to note. For instance, the first Move Label function is the control of a label by another label. When I press it, it moves a little. Then, if I press it again, it stops. This is designed to facilitate the operation of the labels. After the labels are set up, we need to tighten them or check if the labels are deviating, or if the power supply is good now. I press it. If I don't press it again after the first press, it will move one by one. You can see it stops here again. It moves label by label. So, this function has several functions. It helps us test if the labels are deviating and move the labels quickly to correct them. Then, we check if the labels can come out one by one. There is one thing to note here. Sometimes when we replace the labels, there might be a bunch of labels coming out. In this case, we might need to reset the photoelectric eye. First, we need to determine if the labels are stuck in this gap. If it's okay, then we might need to reset the photoelectric eye. To reset the photoelectric eye, you need to ensure that the labels from this axis to the other axis are straight. Then, release this and press the black button. Now it's a green light. Press the black button for about 10 seconds. It will flash 2 lights, one orange and one green, simultaneously. Also, make sure there is this gap between the labels in this section. We move this photoelectric eye back and forth between the labels. During this movement, it actually collects information about the thickness and transparency of the labels. Here, there is an arrow. This arrow points to the gap of the label. Then, press it again. This is when it's set up. You can slightly move it when you leave your position. You will see a light flashing. This change indicates that it has been set up successfully. After successful setup, we need to test it. Just press the function called Move Label. If I press it every time, it moves one label. Then it's okay. The second one is the mark bias. The second button, as I mentioned before, will first display a mark, and then press it down. We can test this with this button. For example, if I first display a mark, the way to do this is very specific because displaying this mark will directly affect where the marking starts. This is an effective way to control the starting position of the marking. This is very crucial. However, there is also a principle to this. For instance, if my product is lowered, inserted, and placed here, once my pressing cylinder is pressed down, the head must not go too far to this side. At least, it must ensure that it is approximately in the middle position of this sponge wheel. If it goes too far to this side, it proves that it is not pressed stably enough. So, at this time, you need to pay attention.